Church Growth Unleashed, diving into all things leadership and church growth. Provide the help, encouragement, insights that you need along the journey of growing yourself as a leader and your ministry. Welcome back to the Church Growth Unleashed podcast. I'm your host, Danny Anderson, and this is the podcast where we talk about all things church growth, church leadership, to try to help you lead your church and grow your church without losing your soul or losing your mind. Today, I want to talk to you about something very interesting, something you probably won't hear many pastors talk about, many podcasts talk about, and that is what word you use to describe your staff. Today, I want to talk to you about 5 reasons why you should not call your staff family. Now, I know I'm going to get some pushback on this because calling your staff family kind of feels normal. Maybe it feels healthy. Maybe it feels right. Maybe even feel like there's some biblical passages that support it. But I feel strongly that if you call your staff family, you're setting yourself up for a lot of pain, a lot of disappointment, unnecessary pain and unnecessary disappointment. And it makes it really hard to lead your staff. So 5 reasons why you should not call your staff a family. The first one is this. If you want to take notes, write this down. You don't pay your family for work. You don't pay your family for work, but you do pay your staff for work. There's a difference there, right? There's money involved with your family. For sure, you know, if you've got kids, you give them money, but you don't pay them because they've earned the money. But with staff, they actually have to earn their paycheck. So it's very different from a family. That's the first reason you should not call your staff family. The second reason is you don't evaluate the performance of your family, but you do evaluate the performance of your staff. Now, for sure, you do evaluate the performance of your family, but you don't tell them about it, right? Because then that would be a problem. Or maybe you do, and it's a challenge or it's difficult. But we are always evaluating staff. Right now, we're in this the phase that on our staff we're doing staff evaluations, and that's just something we do not do with family. You don't put family on a performance improvement plan. It's just not what but you do that with a staff if they're struggling, a staff member if they're struggling. So second reason why we don't call staff family is you don't evaluate the performance of your family members, but you do your staff. Number 3, you don't fire family members based on their performance, but you do fire staff based on their performance. I mean, you can fire a family member, but that usually leads to a lifetime of difficulty, tension, and problems. And if you've been divorced, you know about that. I mean, it's very difficult. But with staff members, if they don't perform and they don't change their performance over time, they will get fired. And so that's why it's confusing to refer to staff as family, because when you say that word, you use that word, people feel like, man, family members treat family members like family members, and that means that no one ever gets fired around here. And there are a lot of churches that function that way. A lot of lead pastors. In fact, maybe you're watching today and you're like, man, that's why I haven't fired this person or that person, because they're like family to me. That's the problem when you call your staff family members. Number 4, why don't you refer to staff members as family? Family members don't leave for better families, more money, or better homes. Family members don't do that, but staff members do. Now, if you've led a staff for a while, you have had staff members leave your staff because they got offered more money at another church, or they saw a better opportunity for a bigger church or something like that. That's what happens with staff members. Not all the time, but it happens. Well, guess what? Family members don't do that. They don't leave the house and say, oh, Dad, there's a better dad over here, so I'm going to go join their family over there. Or the Johnsons have a bigger house, so I'm going to go join the Johnsons family. That doesn't happen in a family, but it does happen on a staff. Number 5, you don't spend holidays or birthdays with staff members, but you do spend them with your family. So stop calling your staff members family. Right? I mean, who do you spend time with on a holiday or a birthday? You spend it with your closest family members, not your staff members. So those are the 5 reasons why you should not refer to your staff as family members. You say, well, what should I call them? If I don't call them family, I mean, we've always done that. What should I call them? Well, a better term for your staff is the word team. Your staff is your team. You got to think about your staff like a professional sports team. Think about how a professional sports team functions, or the coach or the owner of a professional sports team operates. They're operating looking for the best players for their team so that they can win games. It's that simple. And that's how you operate. Like, I'm looking as a pastor of a church, I'm looking for the best players to join my team so that we can have the greatest chance of fulfilling our vision. And then when you find those players, you try to put them in the right positions and pay them as much money as you can possibly pay them so that they stick around. That's not how you treat family members. You don't listen, your family members, you know this, you're stuck with them and you didn't get to pick them. Like, they are your family members. If they suck, and you're stuck with them, right? Hopefully they don't suck and you got some good family members, but you don't go recruit family members, but you do recruit your staff, and you try to find the best players in your team, and then you try to pay them as much as you can so they'll stick around. If you were an owner of a sports team, the better your players perform, the more valuable they become, and then the more that you pay them and you promote them, right? Well, that doesn't work that way with family members, right? The better family member they are, they don't get more money from you. They don't get promoted to a higher position. You may like them more, but it certainly doesn't work that way. But on a team, it does, right? So you treat your staff members like players, and the more skills they learn, or the better they get at their job, they get promoted, and they make more money. And so that's why they're different. They're different. Think about an owner of a sports team. They spend a lot of time with their players, especially the coach, right? They're practicing. They're with their players all the time. In fact, they're probably with their players more than they are with their families sometimes. Well, it's like that way with a staff, right? You spend 6 to 8 hours a day working with a team. A lot of times you spend more time with your staff than you actually do with your family. And the objective and the reason why you spend that much time with your team is because you have a goal. You're trying to, launch campuses, or, reach a numerical goal, or see so many people get saved and baptized or whatever. And so with a family, it's not like that. You don't spend time with your family in order to achieve an objective. I mean, you're just with your family, enjoying them, right? You're just, loving them and being with them and enjoying life with them. It's different when you're with your staff. Like, when you're with your staff, there's objectives and goals. And so you're moving things forward and you're working on things together and you're trying to hit a specific objective. So what's a better term, family or team? Well, clearly the term team is a much better term to refer to when you're dealing with your staff. Here's the biggest reason why I would even do a podcast on this. When you refer to your staff as a family, it just complicates things. The word itself communicates things that are untrue on their part and on your part. It's not a family. Now, as a church, it's certainly a family, and your staff is part of your church. There are dynamics there where you care about them and you love them and you do anything for them if they need help, right? And there's love and concern for your staff. I'm not suggesting that at all, that there's no love or concern. But there's definitely dynamics there that are untrue for your staff that are true for your family. And so it makes it difficult to lead and work through some of those dynamics when it's kind of murky or unclear. But the word team clears a lot of that up. When you use the word team, you are free to lead better. You're free to make quicker decisions. You're free to course correct quickly. You have the freedom to coach quicker when you're working with a team member. Think about what coaches do. I've had lots of coaches in my life. Man, when they see something that's not working right, they absolutely address it right away.
And they do it with clarity, and they do it with urgency. And when you're dealing with family members, man, like that's not a dynamic. Like a lot of times in a family, you bite your tongue. You don't say anything because you know there's a price to pay. But on a team, that's part of the culture, right? You're addressing problems quickly, and so you're able to lead better, move faster. You can have hard conversations a lot easier when you're working on a team. Why? Because you got to fix things. Why? So we can continue to reach our goals and our objectives. You can make difficult decisions. You can let people go. You can make difficult choices. The word team allows you to create a better leadership culture. So, short podcast on why you should not use the word family and why you should use the word team. I promise you, if you're a young pastor today, you might disagree with this, but if you just trust me on this, 5 years from now, you're going to send me an email and you're going to say, thank you so much for this little podcast on shifting the language we use for our staff. It's saved me a lot of pain and it's freed me up to lead in a better way. Hope this has been helpful to you. We'll see you next time on the Church Growth Unleashed podcast. God bless.